Stop. So we're checking the errors, right? So let's check again. Where is our validator? So bad value is bad for attributes with on elements img, especially a digit but so a p instead. Okay, okay. From line 59 to line to column 19. Okay, section lacks heading because now okay, we've not attended to this. Okay, this is same thing with this as well. Let's go back to our VS code. So we have issues with this. This is 554 pixels by 554 pixels. So let's check the image, which is the dog.jpg. If you open it, this is what we have. Let's go back to this. It's actually correct. Mm, why? So why is it saying error? Expected a P. Mm, let's also tackle this while we are trying to figure this out. Um, it's mentioned another area of concern where a section that doesn't have a heading, a section that doesn't have a heading. Okay, from line 28. So we can go back to VS Code line 28. Where is line 28? This is line 28. So from here, okay, so here, so this doesn't have heading, which is true. So we're supposed to bring this down, and then we already, okay, since this is the first part, this is the first section of the website, so we can have our h1. Don't forget we have h1 down there, so we have to change that h1 to something else because we cannot have more than one h1. So I have h1. We cannot say, okay, what is this? Coleslaw spaghetti. So we can say this the, or we can say my favorite food items for this. And then we can have, just as a placeholder, we can have a paragraph that says these are the food items I eat when I'm out. So we can save that. So hopefully by now the validator should not bring any error, but we need to, but validator will bring error as long as another h1 is here. Do we have any other h1 here? Okay, yes, this h1. So this has to change. So let's sort of, wind the validator. Let's see how it will react to this. So but we'll still come back to this img and correct any error that is there. I'm still here to figure it out. So we'll just come here, choose file again. Let's see, index.html, open, and then check. Okay, now the validator is not detecting that we have more than one h1, which is very wrong. So we have to, following semantics, so we have to change this to h2 because we can't have more than one h1. after one h1, every other heading across the paragraphs should be between h2 and h6. And if you remember when it was suggesting that one of this section didn't have a header, it mentioned that we should choose between h2 and h6 because it had already assumed that we have h1 already in the first section. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, sir.
So we have that. Now let, let's check this
I'm
again. So
thinking of that image.
yes,
Other width and height are the
yes,
yes number.
let's try something. Let's see something. Where is it?
The value given to
What
the
do you say?
image. The value, the width, the height. I don't know.
You think that's the problem?
I'm just thinking about.
Let's take it out and then let's see what it gives us. So we choose again, choose the updated file, open, check. Now it says no errors. Let's go back to this. Let's say we still want to, so let's bring this to the back, like at the end of everything, the title and the alt. Let's say, so the width equals 554 pixels, the height equals 554 pixels. Control S, Command S. So let's check again. Now there's a feeling that comes with seeing this green line. That feeling of relief, that feeling of happiness, like yes, no issues, my code is clean. That feeling is very, very satisfying. Now let's see. Now that we've moved the image sizes to the extreme end, it's still bringing it. Mm, let's take out the pixels. Choose. Now it's clean. Did you see that? Did you see that?
Yes, sir.
So so because I took out the pixels, I took out the unit, so it worked. Because so what it's trying to tell us that we don't need to add pixels to the digits. It should just be the digits. It will automatically assume that or know that it is in pixels. So we can have that like that. So now this code is super clean according to the validator. Now let's move on to the next thing. We've touched the semantics. So semantics never end. It keeps going on and on. Now our image, now we added figure to it. Now let's talk about fig caption, for example, for our image. Let's have fig caption and elements, and then let's have um, this is an image of a dog. Command S, and then this figure, now let's cut it. Command X, and then bring it to the extreme end. Since it's the closing tag, Command V. Do you understand? Break this down, because figure element is covering everything that has to do with image. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is how you arrange your code in order, in orderly manner. Figure is the all encompassing element, and then every other thing is inside figure, just as we have for sections as well.
Sorry, please. I want to ask a question. So so instead of using sections, um, that place that the image we use figure.
Yes, because it is an image.
Okay, so why did you use this fig caption? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this fig caption now is just as the name says, caption. Just like when you post on social media platform, you have caption, right? Where you
Yeah.
type like extra information.
Yeah.
You get, so it's the same thing here. You have the image, but you now want to have caption at the bottom of at the bottom or at the top of the image. That's just like a little text, like extra information to accompany the image. So
Okay.
fig
Because I was thinking that title is for the same purpose.
mm, that title is different. You see the fig caption here is directly under the image. This is the fig caption we just created. Is tied to the image. Now the title is different. Title is for this tooltip.
Okay, like when we
When the
arrow
cursor
on
goes
the
over
image.
it, yes. But this is the fig. This is the caption.
Okay, so basically that caption is for writing caption for the image you are posting.
Yes, yes, for the image, yes.
You said like something like reader. For reader to read the image when you over the image. That's the first one.
That's the you mean the title?
The title, the first one that is
No, no, no. Title is the tooltip. Where is the image again? So this is the title. This title, right? This is the tooltip. When your mouse goes there, goes to the
no,
image. But you see this alt, this alternative, this one is for when is the extra information as well. When the image is broken, or maybe there is error in network, the image is not able to load. This alt is the one that is going to show. And then we can now have fig caption. You know what? Let's just test it out. Let's purposely create error in this image link. Instead of dog.jpg, let's remove the G on purpose and save. Automatically it will not link to anything, so the image will break. So let's go to our browser. Let's see what will happen. It should be saved already, but we can still reload. The image is broken, can you see? So
yes.
this is a dog. This is our alt, which is more like a caption. So if you have this, you might not necessarily have this, but you can have this if you need to label your images. You know that sometimes you label the images.
Sure.
Exactly. So you can have this. So this alt, when the image was still active, when the image was live, was up, did you see the alt? No. So this alt is replacing the image because the image is not here presently. The image is broken. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
HP, are you getting it?
I think I'm lost. So like this image is not there, right?
Yeah.
The image is there, but like it is not properly placed.
Yes.
That's why it's not showing. Okay.
Yes. Or maybe let's assume that the network is bad. The image cannot load. It happens like that. If the network is very slow, the image might not like load at first. So this is what the user will see. The alt. This is a dog that we created here.
Because if you didn't put that out,
No,
nobody Nobody will know that. So
nothing will
they
show.
will just see that logo.
Let's say we didn't have. Now another way, did I tell you guys about comment? Another way to hide code is by adding comments dash dash, and then you can close it up here. Or you can close it up here. So now this is hidden. You can see everything has become white because you can't see it. If we go to the browser, anything from down below, you won't see it here. Where is the image? This is the image. Let's break. Let's go back here. Let's break. Let's bring this down. Let's have this. Not UTF. Let's have this here. Then let's remove this fig caption, for example. Let's remove this fig caption, and then let's this image is already gone. Now let's remove this alt as well. Let's remove this alt. Command X, and then let's bring it here. Command V. It's not showing, it's hidden. So we now come to, so this is title already. Let's remove, we have title already. We remove the fig caption. What else? Let's remove the comments. Let's remove it so that it can still show. But this one is not going to. Let's take it out of the figure. Command X, bring it here. Command V. It doesn't have any meaning. So let's go back to the page and refresh. Why is it still showing? Bring this here. Control S or Command S. Let's check it again. Oh, okay. This is like an updated version. Wild dog looking pretty. Let's check. Wild dog looking pretty. This is the title. This is the tooltip. I think something is wrong with the network. Let's remove the title. So we have just the image, right? Save. Let's check again. Okay, it's gone. Now, this is where we are supposed to have the image, right? HP, are you following?
Yes, yes.
This is where we are supposed to have the image, but you can see it's broken because the image link is not complete. Now, nobody is going to know what image was here or what image is supposed to be here if there is nothing that says that talks about it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And same thing for a screen reader too. A screen reader will just scan. A screen reader reads only text, right? Voo, Ronaldo, Messi, Ibrahimovic, Suarez, voo, create account, voo, my favorite food item for the day, voo, coleslaw, voo, voo, soups, voo, 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 beautiful, voo, with 250k, voo, playing football, voo. It gets here, empty space, empty space, buy me two basket. Now it has omitted the image that is here, even though that the image is broken. Even if you had the image here, even if the image was obvious, the screen reader will not pick the image because the image is visual. Is not There's nothing text about the image. So that's why we always need to add attributes like alt to images, a just to describe the particular image, a beautiful image, and then we have it like that. Then title, which is for tooltip, and then we have it like that. So now this comment element is used to hide notes for yourself. Like if I have it like this, and then dash dash, and then I have exclamation mark, and then I have another dash dash, and then I close it up. I can write something inside, like this this link is for me alone. Can I be like that? And then it should just be there. But because you have put it in this format, it's not going to affect your code. It's not going to reflect in your code. Only you can see it. Now it's showing here. This link is for me alone. It's not meant to show. Let's see. Let's go back here. We clear this. You know. If we run to the validator, it will tell us exactly what is wrong. It's not meant to show. That's why this is showing in white.
Is it not exclamation before dash dash? Or exclamation dash dash.
Even that is still not is not taking effect.
Now you close it with that dash.
In this format, that is still not taking effect. Okay, now it's working. It should work. I think it's because we didn't refresh our page. It's still showing. It's the network. Let's run it from here. I think it has disappeared. So sometimes if you go to, that's why I always delete, I always close existing pages so that I can run the code straight from the VS Code for updated results so that I can see it immediately. So we have that. Then we can now have we talked about that element. Let's check the notepad again. Let's see another element that we can touch. Okay, now this will take us to links. This will take us to links. Let's look at links. So now we've established the sections and we talked about links. And I said there are three types of links. There is um, relative reference, there is absolute reference, and there is, should I call it, internal reference. Let me call it internal reference. I'll start with the internal reference. Or let's start with absolute reference. That's one that takes us to another page entirely. So now, where is it? Let's start with the unordered list that we have here in the navigation. We're supposed to have links in the navigation. So Ronaldo is number one. Before we proceed, let's first label our sections, and I'll tell you why later. So this section, this is the first section, right? Let's give our sections labels. We call it ID. We call it ID. We call it ID. And this will be useful for us when we are linking to different sections. So we can say ID, for example, equals, we can now give it a name. We can say food, right? Before we talk about links, I think we will talk about images so that it can be very um, orderly. Sorry, let's add the images that we have here. Do you understand? Let's have one more image here in this section, in the main section. Let's have the first section. Let's have one more image, img, because there's something I want to show you. So we have img here as a self-closing tag. So we want to link it as src is equals to the link where the image is. So img, that's linking to the file that we have here locally. Select, and then let's say we want to have plants. Alt, you already know what alt is. So in case the image is not clear enough, or the image is broken, or the internet is not allowing load, we can just have it there. You can say a green plant, then control save. What else? Title, you can skip that later. Don't forget the fig, the semantics. So figure, and then you can copy all of this. That's why I said semantics never end. Do you remember? Cut, and then Command V, paste in between, Control S or Command S. So we have that. Let's move to another section and add the other teacup image. Let's have the image somewhere here. So I can say figure, break it down, img, enter, src, img, teacup, and then alt, a teacup, control S, command S, and then let's go back to our VS Code and run it directly from there. Okay, now this image is too large. We will have to reduce it. It's covering the whole page. It's also too large. So let's quickly run to our VS Code and reduce the sizes. So we can, since we already worked with 554, we've seen how it looks. So we can come back, we can come to these other images. So let's bring this one back. Let's complete the link so it can be viewed. So this other image, add attributes width and height attribute to it. Width equals 554, height equals 554. Where's the other image? We have it here. Add width and height attributes. Width equals 554, height equals 554. Not all images are going to have a perfect square shape, mind you. So the other way to do is selecting each of the images, for example like this plant, and checking the size here. You can see this is 3224 pixels, which is too large. That's why we have that kind of sizing of display. So let's go back to the web page and see what we have now that we've reduced the size. Now it is contained. Yes, now we have it. Now if you check something, so let's go back. Now when you have multiple images on a page, you need to consider a factor, an important factor. When it comes to images, loading images on your web page, you need to consider the loading effects of that particular website. Like how fast would that website load? So when you're working with images, you have to consider that. So we need to now do something. Let's inspect this web page. Let me close this first one. So right click, inspect, and then you will see this. So you go to console, no, go to network, select disable cache, then come here to img. Now if you scroll, let's see what comes up. Okay, it's loading, but it's not, we can't tell how it loads yet. We can't tell how it loads yet. Media, no, this is already img. We've disabled cache. Okay, let's go back. Let's try again. Inspect, network. Now if you notice, while we were before scrolling, this whole space is empty, right? But when we start scrolling, you start seeing data. So we are trying to monitor this data to know how fast our images are loading, right? So let's try again. So while we scroll, let's see. Now nothing is showing. This image is selected already. Let's uncheck this. Can you try this from your end? I think my network is, I don't know. Okay, now it's better. Now it's better. Now I can see data. Good, 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 good. So let me close it so we can start again. So I right click, inspect network. Okay, this is here. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll. Now this is plants. Plants is the first image here. Next is teacup, right? You can see it seems like teacup is highlighted. If I scroll, okay, and the last is this. Let's do something. Let's perform an experiment. Let's go back to the VS Code. Now where is the image? This is the first one. The first one is above the fold. Let's close this. Let's move this to the top. Let's bring it underneath, like in between this heading 1 and paragraph, or in between paragraph and the list, so that we can see it clearly. We can make sure that it is above the fold. So the fold is the point where you can't see above the fold. The fold is the line that's that that stays in between the hero section and the other part of the website. So it defines the area where you can that the area that is visible to users before scrolling. So you can view this whole area before scrolling. So it's until we now scroll we see other part of the website. Now you see how this image loaded. Can you see? The next image will also load as we come there. Can you see? You can see how it's loading. That's what we are looking at. That's our concern. That's what we are trying to work on. So let's go back to the top. So we want to make sure that this image is at the top within the hero section. Then we'll now um, gradually define the loading speed. So if I go back to the VS Code, for example, and then I go to the green plants, which is this one, I can remove this figure, Command X or Control X, close this up. Then I place it here, since we said in between the paragraph and the list. So I just bring it in between, Command V, Control S, or Command S. Then before we go to the browser, let's do something. So after the first one can leave it at this. Then after the first one, the next images, then we can now come here and add an attribute and call this loading, and then we set it to lazy. Come here, add loading attributes and set it to lazy, and that's it. Command S or Control S. So let's run this and see. So it has come up. It has come up. So this is above the fold. So let's check, inspect network. Let's try to scroll. No effect. Reload the page. Normally, as we are here, right, we're supposed to see only this particular image here. That's what I've been trying to achieve. We're supposed to see only this particular image here as a bar, and then as we scroll on the page, we're supposed to see the next image, and then as we scroll, we're supposed to see the next image appear. That's what I've been trying to show you, but I, I'm trying to figure out why this is displaying in this manner. But you can try it from your end. If you get it, let me know. So but let's close this inspection page. Now let's reload the image, the web page, and then let's try this again. Let's scroll gradually and see how it loads. Okay, it has loaded. Now let's see. Now it's loading once. Can you see? It's loading once. Unlike before, it was kind of draggy. It's loading faster. So if I reload this now and then I come, the text is loading, the image is popping up fast. So the idea of setting the loading to lazy is that we want to save data as well. So before the cursor gets to the image, to the bottom, the the um the image is already preparing itself to load before the cursor gets to it, so that you will not have to all the images will not just load at once on the website, will not just load at once just because it has been set to just load, so that when the user is visiting the website, all the images on the website will not just load at once. It will not just make the website unnecessarily heavy, such that the website will be heavy before the website comes up, before you move around different pages and all of that. The whole website is feeling very very heavy and slow. But in order to make everything fast and quick, the images would hang on, and then they will prepare themselves as soon as the cursor is getting closer to them. That is the idea. That's why it set the loading to lazy. If you set it to eager, it's going to do the opposite. So that's the idea. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Is HP still here?
H-
Yeah, I'm still here, so I'm trying to go through the code.
Okay, but do you understand what I just explained?
Yeah, I kind of lost in the middle, but don't worry, I'll catch up. I'll maybe when I watch video again, I'll get to some things
Okay,
clearly.
okay. So now we've established that. So let's quickly look at the links. So I mentioned different link types. So I was about labeling the sections before we quickly loaded more images.